Hello, I'm Gigi, the head of the business strategy at the Mycel. Just like the last season, I'm here once again. It's not only to showcase our materials, but also share the pitch with you. The last time I focused on the new materials trends and over the market. At this time, I'd like to step forward to talk about how the material industry can prepare for the rapidly changing regulations we are all facing. As you can see, today's theme is innovation in the era of the regulation. And also I walked you through how we approach sustainability and the regulation and how mycelium-based materials represent real innovation in this page. And also this demand and the responsibility for the materials that goes beyond recycling and also toward the truly regenerative solutions is no longer something in the distant future. And also, I hope that today the session gives you not only the view of the mycelium innovation, but also the insights into how we can all get ready for the what's coming. So give the quick review of today's flow, the first I touch on the recent change in the EU environment regulation and all changes that all of us industries need to be prepared for. And then I share the overall view of the possible solution and also leading into how myself addressing these issues through the innovation with the technology and mycelium-based materials. And also from there, I show you how our materials can be applied wisely, and it's from the fashion to the mobility and also interior design. And also finally, we wrapped it up the lightly note with the short music video style, the pieces that tells the story of the mycelium in the fun and creative way. And I hope that this pitch it will be both useful and enjoyable for you all the way of the through. So if not now, when? The truth is there is no way to avoid environmental regulations anymore. That's why the day is coming very soon as when using sustainable materials, not just for the choice. So it will be a requirement and the obligations for all of us and for the environment and for the world we live in. So this page is highlighting the EU sustainability regulation from the 2024 through the 2029. The EU has already set clear the targets to carbon reduction and as energy efficiency and the resources saving, while tightening requirement for the corporate disclosure and the duty diligence. And also under the Green Deal, new laws will continue to push industries toward the decarbonization and the competitiveness. For the companies, this means that one thing, staying competitive in the EU now requires real preparation and the soil sustainability the strategy. So the EU new environmental regulation are the centers on the eco-design. This means the product must last longer and reduce their carbon footprint and support the circular economic principles and also prevent the wasted and also include the minimum share of the recycled materials. So all of it ties into the European Green Deal, so aiming for the carbon neutral by the 2050 and the pushing every industry toward more sustainable growth. And the short sustainability is and circularity are not longer optional, they are mandatory. So environmental safety is everyone's responsibility. So, and that's why governments are stepping up those with the stronger the policy to protect our planet. So what are the EU regulations that are being reinforced in this year? So starting in 2025, we see major frameworks come into play, the PPWR, the ESPR, and REACH. And these will make it mandatory to increase recycling rates and design products with sustainability in mind, and also the managing chemical under must stricter and safe. So now let's look at the two of the EU key regulation. But I'm going to explain about the what is REACH. And also, luckily, we got the REACH certification about 1 month ago. And the REACH, we, with our myself, just got, as you know, we got the certification from the August. And the focus on the chemical safety, and also it restricts the hazardous and substance and enforces rigorous evaluation, encouraging the adoption of the safe biomaterials like the mycelium. And also these certifications, which are the option today, with soon becoming mandatory. And also that means the ESG aligned materials are no longer just nice to have, and also they are a future standard. So why are these regulations become the stricter? Well, it really comes down to today's environmental issues. I pointed at the three main reasons. The first thing is the environmental impact for the conventional materials. The materials like rayon and the nylon and other plastic, the synthetic fibers generated a very high the carbon emission and the energy used during both the production and the disposal. Since they rely on the petroleum-based raw materials, the footprint is especially heavy. But second, the problem of the low biodegradability. These materials take decades and sometimes even centuries to break down, and they linger in the environment, creating microplastic, the pollutions, and damaging ecosystem. And third is the way these materials are used and discarded major consequences. If they're incinerated and they release the toxic gases. If they're the landfill, they causes soil saturation and they continue to break down into the harmful the microplastic fragment. So that's why, as I mentioned earlier, regulation in the EU are only getting tougher. So how do we prepare for these regulation changes and the growth of sustainable materials? At the Mycel, we have been building the foundation, investing in the R&D, the scaling has been building the foundation and investing in the R&D and the scaling Mycelium, the materials for the commercial use. And starting next year, and also we moved into the massive production, and by 2028, when EU regulation became mandatory, we aim to lead the market with the global adoption, industry certification, and the government support. So before we deep dive deeper, let me introduce our material, Mycelium leather, from the Mycel. Our slogan is from the air, back to the air. It captures our vision to feel the answers of the very air we share, and also with the nature, the microbes, and also planet, and to return everything back to the air, the truly circle of a regeneration. So now let me explain what makes the Mycelium the material so unique. So you may not familiar with the word of the Mycelium, I think. So if you look at the image here, you see the body of the mushroom above the ground and underneath it. So root to like the network. So that's Mycelium, and it is living the system so we use to grow the materials. And it's bio-based and regenerative and fully biodegradable. Yet it has looks like it feels of the leather that compared to the conventional materials. It's saving 97 to 98% of the carbon emission as while meeting the core of sustainability requirements of the EU regulation I mentioned earlier. So let me go a bit deeper into the Mycelium actually is. Mycelium is a root of the structure of the mushroom, as I told you, and is forming at the power of the 3D network in the nature. And the structure can be engineered in a variety of the materials properties. And it grows is about the 14 days, and also very short cultivation cycle, and also incomplete non-toxin, and which makes it both eco-friendly and safe for the humans. Because of these unique qualities, and Mycelium is now seen as a sustainable alternative to the petroleum and also bio-based materials. And I'm sure you wondering how does it translate into the real industry. Once next page, I will show you where the Mycelium is already being applied and impact it creates. So broadly speaking, Mycelium materials can be applied across the fashion, mobility, and the design. But here at the PV, I know most of you are especially interested about the fashion. So Mycelium has already been showcased in the luxury market. And also we believe the momentum with the gradually spread out into the mainstream and even fast the fashion. And for example, brands like Hermes or Stella McCartney have introduced Mycelium paste pieces in their collection and highlighted they're committed to sustainability. And why then it's not the Mycelium? Adidas has driven major innovation in sportswear and with eco-friendly footwear collaboration, which shows a clear potential for the Mycelium leather in the sports industry as well. So even fast fashion, the leaders like H&M or Zara are beginning to experiment with Mycelium accessories as signing that the mass market adoption is not far away. So next, let's look at mobility. And this might sound less familiar, but for us essential. Actually, Mycel started as a spin-off from the Hyundai, the motor groups in Korea. As you know, the automobiles are interior materials require very high strength. So that's the push to develop the tougher the structure, the stronger the performance from the start. So compared to leathers, our material is not only more sustainable, but also lighter and versatile. So that's why we're seeing a strong potential for the micellar leather to replace conventional materials in the mobility sector. So finally, let's look at the interior architecture, the design. Right now, Mycel is working with the European public institution through the consortium to prepare for the sector. So what makes it especially exciting that Mycel is limited to the leather-like the surface. It can be expressed in many different forms and properties. The versatile gives it enormous potential to expand into the interior as architecture, and which is another the major growth in the driver. So now let's take a look at the future the market holds. So as I mentioned, through the demands and the necessity, for the sustainable, the solutions is set to grow the faster than ever before. So that's why by the 2034, the market size and the demand for the biomaterial are expected to more than double and compared to today. So at Mycel, we aim to meet this rising demand by the growing into the global leader, the biomaterials, not only the European and US, but also across the Asia and North America. So through the collaboration with the diverse kind of brands, we are putting our philosophy for the mutual the growth into the practice. By the manufacturing with the regenerative mindset, we aim to prove both the potential and the impact of our materials. So at Mycel, we have the signature materials is called the CELMURE. And to close this pitch, I'd like to show real image of how this high-ended materials are being used and walked through its key feature. So the image on the right is object you can see in the person our booth in the 6P16. So that's just over there. And also our premium line CELMURE is built on 3 pillars: the premium quality and sustainable the processes, and also principle of regeneration. So through our liquid cultivation process, CELMURE achieved the fine and pure finish, and also without the need of the heavy post-processing, the white deliver the excellence and the strength and the performance. And also luckily, I can show the image, the next one. So actually, we've got the certification for of that, USDA and also PATA and the RIT. And I think definitely everybody knows the big corporation. We got that one just last month. And also we have 2 different kind of line of our CELMURE. So one is like the calf skin, we call the CELMURE Prime. So it's really masculine, like a man's, and really, really strong. And also there is another line of CELMURE Brace, which is mimicking the lamb skin. So it's like really feminine and soft. And also these 2 has 2 different kind of character. So you can decide on what you preference. So the most important feature of the CELMURE is made from the 100% of the mycelium. As you can see the first image, it combines both the elastic and the strength, and which the image is right one, it's a stretchy performance rivalry of the real leather. So for this exhibition, we collaborated with the J.J. Astley in London, a designer who also served as advisor to Paul Smith. And together we reinterpreted the 90s, the 40s, the carriage, baby carriage, the purchasing the original pieces, or redesigning with the CELMURE to bring out both the classic and the elegance and vintage charm. So we also created luxury amenity, the kind of expected to see the 7 stars hotel. So to showcase sophistication and also regeneration luxury of the mycelium materials. At our booth, you will also see another object recreated in the face, and it combines both the digital and the silk printed technique, very delicate floral design to meet our mycelium leather, creating a harmony truly to start the emotions. So luxury once defined the change, now it will define the regeneration. We began with the luxury. Our vision is to further to make a luxury drivers of the regeneration. So at Mycel, our vision is not just to create the materials, but to share the value of the mycelium with the world. So with this mind, we produced a short musical, the style of the video. The title is Birth of Mycel. So the 2 minutes piece, the playful and yet meaningfully captured how mycelium is reborn to the leather. So I'd like to end up the pitch by sharing this video to you, and also if you like to experience our material for this first dance, please visit our booth as I told you, 6P16. So we're waiting for all of you, and thank you so much for your time and attention. So please enjoy the movie right now.